I'm scaling to 250K a month profit with dropshipping right now. I know the title says I made 125K last month. The accurate is actually 145K. I just thought that sounded very good. First of all, before I show you everything I do, I wanted to add that I'm also a student. I don't know everything I'm doing. So I'm just gonna give you a full insight into my ads manager, my entire funnel, so you can see what I'm doing and what I'm also trying to learn. And this video will have no sponsors, no sellouts. It's gonna be the most advanced video you have ever seen on dropshipping. I'm gonna show you everything I do right now for my dropshipping stores, as well as how I'm scaling my client stores. This one in particular, if you look the last 30 days, it actually went down a lot because we changed some things. We're looking to scale this one specifically to over 100K a month too. This store did 166K last month in revenue, with the profits being around 90,000 euros. But those stores I have only a percentage in, which would be for example, 25%, still very profitable. But if you look here, you can see my own brand that I run, which has done 280K in sales the last month alone. Let's just hit a quick refresh on it. Yes, there you can see peaking at 29K in just one day alone. So we'll start by looking at my ads manager, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I scale my Facebook ads. This is gonna be a very advanced video, the type of stuff you find in a $5,000 course, if even there. So make sure you stick around, even if it doesn't make sense for you, everything I teach. I think you're gonna have a really good idea of dropshipping. I'm just gonna put it straight. Watch this shit for 30 minutes. You're gonna make a lot of money, okay? So first of all, with my scaling strategy, I wanted to tell you how I run my ads right now, which is stupidly simple. So as you can see, we have loads of different campaigns here. I'm operating everything by one main campaign, okay? So this campaign here is where we have the big budgets, okay? And the goal of this campaign is to carry all of our most successful creatives, okay? So on all of these campaigns you can see under here, I'm always testing out different creatives, right? Trying to find which ones are working. Like you can see, we have 64 inside of here, and I'm just turning off the ones that don't perform good, and I'm scaling the ones that do. So I put all of these winning creatives into my main campaign. So throughout this month, we're gonna keep increasing the budget. If it performs good, we're gonna put it to 600 to 800, and basically running one campaign with all the killer creatives. But I wanna show you the stupid way that I scale my ads, okay? So the way I actually start all of this is obviously with a very simple testing campaign. So I just chose one that was turned off a while ago. Inside of this, I'm running one ad set. I'm just running this campaign at $50 a day. And all I'm testing is a bunch of videos, okay? So I have this whole system, which is where I'm testing all my creatives, which I'm gonna explain later. But I'm just testing a bunch of video ads, and then I start turning off the ones that don't perform, okay? And the core idea of this strategy is really that anything that does good, we're just gonna increase the budget, right? So you see that many of these campaigns are sitting at $50, right? That's because they are test campaigns. But as soon as we have a campaign that does good, so let's just say this one, which is turned off, but just for an example, let's say that this one is actually performing good, sitting at 4 sales, it's profitable, whatever. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna increase the budget, right, to 60. And every day I increase the budgets of my campaigns $10, $20 until I hit a ceiling, right? But just keep in mind that once you hit $100 a day, 200, 500, you're not gonna increase $10 a day, right? You're not gonna go 500, 510, 520, then you're gonna go to 550, right? 600, 700, whatever is logical. But I'm just increasing the budget on my campaigns every single day until they crash, okay? This is the key. Until they crash, and then I downscale them a little bit so they can restabilize, and then I try to scale them up again, okay? So that's really the core of the testing strategy. It's stupidly simple, but here is the maniac thing I do, which is many people consider this very weird, but it's making me a lot of money, okay? It's a controversial strategy, I guess. You can see that inside of this campaign, I have a lot of different ad sets. And the reason for that is that every single ad set, and this is gonna sound crazy, every single ad set I have that performs good, I duplicate 5 times into a new campaign. So if you look at all of these are basically identical. I duplicate them 5 times into a campaign, okay, a new one, and then I do the budget over again. So every time you have a new good ad set, you have a new good campaign, okay? And then we just run the budgets up to the moon. So I'm gonna actually break this down for you right now. We have this one, ad set number 6. It seems to be performing quite good. We're gonna have a look at the ROAS. Oh, actually, this one isn't the most profitable because their break-even is 1.5. But if this one was profitable, the thing that I would do once it makes sales is I would duplicate it, okay? Once again, which really is a messy strategy. I would go new campaign, I would go 5 copies, and I would call it CBO scale new, what you call it, doesn't really matter. And I would simply just go ahead and duplicate it. So when you first start, you're gonna have one campaign, right? So just testing, you know? And then for every day that it gets 3 sales or 4 or 5, just 3 to 5 sales, you duplicate it into a new campaign. Now, the next thing I do is I might also actually duplicate it in the same campaign. Okay, so you see how this is a bit messy. If, for example, this ad set was sitting at 3 sales, I will duplicate it also inside of the original campaign. So now we're gonna have 4 ad sets inside of it. So basically, every time you make 3 to 5 sales, you duplicate it, and then for your new campaigns, you just start increasing the budget. So over, the next couple of days as you are scaling this, you're gonna have more and more campaigns. That's why you see it says down here, results of 120 campaigns. But the core strategy is something way more important than that. My goal is to find my winning creatives. And that's exactly why we're running this big budget campaign up here, which I probably have just filtered the dates a little bit wrong, which is why it doesn't show the performance, but this one has been making money. The big campaign up here is where we're running all our best creatives. So over time, you're quickly gonna learn like which videos are doing good. So if you look inside of, let's just find a very successful campaign. This one, 20 sales, or let's just do this one, 70 sales. We look inside of it, we're gonna see that we probably have some favorite videos. And the way I judge that is obviously by the cost per purchase. How much are we paying to get the purchases? Which one gets the majority? So we can see video 76 here is the one that's performing, 27 sales. I will then go into my campaign, which is my scaler campaign, okay, to the ads. And then I will duplicate and add video 76. So as you can see, video 76 is already sitting here. That's because I use all the other campaigns to find the best creatives and I put them into the main one, okay? Now onto something else, cutting your losses, okay? And stay with me here if this doesn't make sense, because what's to come is crazy, right? Cutting your losses, I'm gonna say something that many people do not agree with. It's controversial. Cut your ads early, man. There is no point to let this shit run for 7 days, 10 days, 14, 20, or 3, okay? If it is not performing good after 2 days, my ad strategy, which maybe it's not right, I don't know, but it is making me hundreds of thousands a month, my ad strategy cuts them right away. Okay, so let's just break down, because we had some very bad days actually, so I will be transparent and show you our awful days. 120 cost per purchase, run for 2 days, only spend 240. Cut that right away. Don't let it hang. If your cost per purchase should be 50 for you to break even, if it spends double your cost per purchase, you cut it. If you have 2 bad days, you cut the ad set. That's how I move, unless it used to perform good. So if the ad set used to perform good on the campaign, give it 4 days. But if you are testing something new and it doesn't work after 1 or 2 days, I would just cut it right away and test it again later. And just so you know, this ad account that we're looking at now is my student's ad account actually. His life has been completely changed. He started from scratch a couple months ago, like I think 2 months ago or something. With me, he's made over 160K or something like that the last month. I'm also going to show my own account, but I'm also using Hyros, the tracking software. I'll tell you more on that later. I'm using this software to track all of my purchases. And the point of the software is not just to do a profit calculator, okay? Because as it shows here, it shows the profit and everything, sitting at like 40% margin, something like that. The main point of the software is to scale accurately, okay? I'm obviously gonna link it in the description. I'm giving you the tools I'm using here, okay? So the point of the software is to show you the sales that you are missing, because Facebook might miss up to 20, maybe sometimes 30% of your sales. And if our strategy is to scale at 3 sales, we're gonna run into a big problem, right? If it's missing one of those sales. So looking, for example, this campaign here, 18 sales, Facebook tracked, Hyros tracked 26. And what this makes us see is that our cost per purchase is wrong. It's probably a lot lower, right? So if you want to actually know your real profits and when to scale or not, you're gonna need a tracking software, right? So that's exactly what we're using it for. 18 purchases, that means it missed 8 purchases, right? So this software helps us a lot with scaling accurately. It's 100% a must-have when you're scaling. And then we have the creative badges, okay? Scaling your store right now really all comes down to creatives, because we're doing everything broad. We don't have any targeting. So what that means is you have to pump out a lot of creatives. I'm gonna show you my testing process. So I have a bunch of different creatives here for different angles. So different offers, it can be anything. So for example, these 2 are for specific angles, specific people, and these 2 are for specific offers, okay? And inside of them, obviously, you find a bunch of different creatives. And the way I test the creatives is based on this metric right here, the click-through rate, okay? So if a creative spends like $20 and the click-through rate is very low, so that's gonna be less than 2%, ideally it should be above 2.5% to be honest, I'm gonna cut it. So this one has a sale, so obviously I'm not gonna cut it then. But if it didn't have a sale, and like this one would definitely be cut. This one under 2, it hasn't spent enough though, but it will be cut. So anything that spent $20 and has less than 2.5% click-through, I will usually cut unless it's making sales. And then I will actually just leave the other ones run and see how my campaign performs, okay? And pretty much every day, I will run a new campaign with testing creative. So this is why it's so important to have, for example, a team of editor, or just be yourself, right? who is making all these videos that you can download from different websites, you can have an editor, you can mix them into your own. You want to be testing at least 5 new creatives every single day. But the thing to keep in mind is your cost per action. How much does it cost you to bring in a sale? And a thing I like to do to fix that, and this is quite advanced if you really want to set it up, but I'll help you with it, is to test different countries. So if we're looking at, for example, this normal CBO testing campaign, right, on another ad account now, it usually spends $70 or 70 euros to get a sale, which should put us at around a little bit profit, nothing crazy. This whole store was really saved, as for like the last 30 days, was really saved by making a new campaign to Spain. Look, I almost managed to get this in the half of the cost just by switching markets. So if you're finding yourself in a situation where you're spending a lot, maybe you're targeting the US and you are breaking even, you're losing money, you're not profitable, you might actually be just one country change away from getting just way better results. I mean, this one is now super profitable campaign, completely saving the business. I'm gonna tell you more on that later, but that's one way that you can make your store stay alive. But the real killer of your store is usually your cost per acquisition, right? How much it costs you to get a sale. So if you're looking, for example, here, let's take a very bad campaign, for example, because when you scale, you're gonna have some bad results, right? $108 it cost to get us 1 sale. And let's say that our conversion rate is 1.6%. It's not much. For 100 visitors, we get 1.6 sales. That means just 1.5 person buys. It's awful. If we are spending, and really think of this, $108 to get a sale at a 1.6 conversion rate, that means if we could get that up to 3.2, just double it, and 3.2 is still low, right? 3.2 is not much. We would be able to cut our cost in half. Now say even worse, you have a 1% conversion rate, absolutely awful. You're spending $100 to get a sale. If you can double that, you're gonna spend 50 to get a sale. If you can triple it, you're gonna spend 30, right? So your cost per acquisition goes hand in hand with your actual conversion rate. So what you need to do, other than just scale on the front, and I'm now gonna make this video a lot more advanced, is you wanna scale the back end, okay? And the way that you're gonna do this is you're gonna split test different product pages, okay? So instead of Shopify here, we can make a bunch of different ones, right? We can make towards different angles, we can make different offers, or we could just take what we already have, switch up the color scheme, put more explanation, just try to make a better page. And even better, what we can do is we can make this store, for example, right here, that page onto Spain, and we now start testing Spain. So you want to split those different product pages and get your conversion rate dialed in already from like day one. And if you look inside of this campaign here for Spain, the thing that you're gonna see is that all the videos here, which I can't show you, I just can't leak the product, it wouldn't be very wise. They are all in Spanish, okay? And that's the key, right? That's where all of this gets a bit advanced. You wanna make sure you optimize your new page for Spanish. You wanna make sure you optimize your video ads for it. Maybe do some AI voiceover, some AI UGC. It has to be in that language and the currency. So it's a big job. And by doing this, talking about your conversion rate, maybe you're gonna find a market that converts even better and your ad costs are gonna be a lot cheaper. Now back to conversion rate, you wanna make sure your page is insanely good, okay? And advertorials, this page building thing here, is a way where you can take your customers through an entire journey. If you compare this to a normal dropshipping store, I mean, it's just next level, right? So let's just say, hypothetically, this store is sitting at a 1.6 conversion rate. Maybe you got a bit lucky on the product and just, it could be so much better. I'm pretty sure if we try with a serious page like this, we could get it up to 4%, right? So setting up an intentional funnel that's very advanced, because of copyright, I'm not gonna play this. You can see that it looks extremely professional. So this is a 7-minute video ad. We're talking about putting in serious effort. You don't have to do this when you're testing, but eventually, right? This is the type of stuff we're doing right now to take our product to the next level. We're calling out to people how much they have struggled, and we're not trying to sell them. We're trying to make them feel something. So they go through this entire funnel, okay? And maybe only 15% of people are gonna be here towards the end, but they are gonna take action and they've watched all the lead nurturing beforehand. They're then gonna come into this page here, and your conversion rate is gonna be 10%, right? Of course they're gonna buy. They watch the entire video. So we're talking about running a little bit of a, a serious business, okay? I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you once again come in and the nurturing just keeps going. They have tried everything, right? The eye drops are only making it worse. 86% of women over 40 are misdiagnosed with dry eyes, but it's simply not the case, right? We have a real doctor here, and look at the story. It's 7 a.m. and your alarm goes off, but you've been awake for 20 minutes already trying to pry your eyes open. They're glued shut with crusted debris. I don't know what it really means, but we're attacking the real problem here. We're doing real copywriting instead of just yapping about our product. So we're explaining how bad their life is, okay? Just like if you were to try to sell a course or something, right? Like Ty Lopez, he'll call out that you are lost in life and all these things. And then eventually, what do we sell? well, we got to scroll through all of this. What do we see at the end? You can claim your offer. So after explaining all of this stuff so advanced, super, super good funnel, and being relatable, claim their offer. But to justify it, an ROI calculator. Your annual costs for this problem: massage therapy, $3,000. Acupuncture, $2,000. Your annual cost will be around $13,000 just to work on your dry eyes. Well, the solution is $94 today, okay? Buy it right now. This is how you do serious dropshipping, right? And these are all the things that I'm working on right now. And I see that my ad results is way more about the back end than it actually is about the front end. So if I can fix all of these things, the better website, the better offer, boosting my conversion rate, testing different countries, then that's how I'm gonna be profitable. It's not about the actual ads manager. And just to show you a little bit about this, like the before and after. We're still earlier, so I can't show you too much, but we used to get like $100 cost per purchase, 150, just wasn't really going that well. And if we break it down, like, I don't know, the last 2 days, could be maybe a bit unlucky too, you're gonna see that the game has completely changed. We now have an English campaign spending $11 for a sale. We now have a $59 campaign, and all of this is done on the back end. No crazy scaling strategies or anything. We just improved our actual business and got more serious. But like I said, a couple more things goes into this, and you don't have to have this advanced system now, okay? If you're just starting, man, it's cool. I'm just saying how you can get better, right? You don't need advertorials. Just build a good page, real proof, good copywriting, before and after, you know what I mean. But the metrics I will pay attention to on the front end is the click-through rate. But most important, everything ties back to the conversion rate. If the conversion rate is bad, well, then most likely the issue is on your website. But if the conversion rate is good, but you're still losing money, the issue is on your front end, okay? Visitors but no sales, website problem. Too little visitors, you're paying too much, you're not getting enough, ad problem. And that always comes down to testing better creative. So if we see right here, we're spending 0.6 to get a click. If we double the CTR, we will double lower, whatever that is called. Like, it will go down 2x, you know? So the higher your click-through, the lower your cost. This is how you make profitable ads. But talking about something way more important, the offers. Why should people buy into you? Because using lazy offers like a bundle that doesn't even fit the product isn't gonna make you any money. The offer is the most important thing about your business. And the different ways I test offers is with my actual ad. So for example, we have one here called buy one, get one free. I don't think it's always the best offer, but I'm testing it. And I'm also testing sub and save. So even my ads goes into like, you can subscribe today and you can save money on your purchase, right? And then what I will do after is I will split test my page, right? I will make 3 different pages and I will have 3 different offers. And then I will see which offer gives me the highest conversions. Then I will put that into my main page. So test your offers early. And what you see here is really offers and angles. Those are the 2 things we test, right? Who do we sell to? Right? Do we sell to people who, for this specific product, like they live in an unsafe area, or do we sell people who live in a place where garages gets robbed, right? Or just who want to be safe? Like, who are we selling to? And the way we do that is we're gonna tell ChatGPT, give me marketing angles for a security doorbell camera. And I also use my own brain and I try to think, I don't outsource everything to AI. And here you already have some good hooks. Protect your family at 24/7, emphasize crime prevention, studies show visible cameras reduce break-ins by 50. Like, this is things you probably wouldn't have on your store, right? Angle for parents, know when your kids get home safely, right? No matter where you are. You can be at a party, you can still check on the app in your phone that the kids actually came home safely. You can do fear, right? Urgency. You can do lifestyle. I don't know. There's many things you can do. So I will use this to come with different angles. And then I will also do give me an offer for this product, right? Free lifetime cloud storage plan. I don't know. Free anti-theft replacement guarantee. If stolen, we'll replace it for free. That one is pretty good. You have to think a little bit, but you can use this tool, right? Which we should all use to get better offers for your store. But one of the best ways I do it is I will just search doorbell camera. I'm using Winning Hunter as software, so we can go to Magic AI over here. We can search doorbell camera, which is just a random example of a product, and we can see which angles our competitors are going for. So since it has pretty much all the ads, you're always gonna see some bad stores too, right? But just by scrolling here, your creativity is gonna start going up, right? And you're gonna get a pretty good idea of all the angles that other people are using. Maybe they live in an unsafe neighborhood or whatever. And it's also going to give you loads of cool videos that you can use for your own store. Looking at your competitors is like the best way to get creativity, right? So just go to Winning Hunter, go to Magic AI here, search up the type of product you're selling, just look through it, get inspiration, download some videos, mix them into your own. And That's really the two things I do to come with creativity. You do this for 10 minutes, your mind just starts thinking. Or you know what, like maybe you just copy a competitor and just run it to another country too. But just to mention a couple of good offers, subscribe and save, right? That's good, it's gonna make you money in the future. Buy one, get one free. Honestly, it's usually a good offer if it fits the product, or something like buy it and get a free guide, right? Let's say it's a workout product, which is what I'm selling. Buy the workout product, get a free guide, which really is just a PDF, right? 45 days to change your life. I talked about this many times in my videos. You can use cross-sell apps, just search it in Shopify, you'll be able to find. But if you really have a good app landing page, right, like the advertorials I show you right here, you can honestly keep it as simple as just having a one-time offer. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything more crazy, because if they've been going through all of this, you're doing very serious e-com, then just do an offer, right? It doesn't always make sense to put in everything. $94, totally fair. They've been nurtured, they're ready to buy, right? So don't complicate it. Now, the best offer you can possibly have is a subscription, right? But this one can be very hard to make an actual need for the customer, because many products don't need a subscription. Like, let's just say, stupid example, you're selling this water bottle and the subscription is like 20 bottles a month. Well, if I'm only drinking one a week, then eventually I'm gonna end up with 80 bottles, right? So it's very hard, and this is where I'm struggling with my business now. It's very hard to find out how you're gonna go about it. This is something I'm working on now. Like, it's definitely making me good money, but I can't give you like the perfect advice yet. But what I can say is stores that I operate are doing just insane numbers with real legitimate subscriptions that the customer actually wins on buying. Now, one more thing though that's very overlooked is fixing your cost per purchase with actual the back end, like your cost of goods and the supplier. I've already taught you how to scale, you know, increase the budgets, duplicates, you know how to make money now, but how do you become profitable? Well, it's by finding better suppliers. Never rely on the first one. Message all the suppliers on AliExpress, message all the suppliers in Sendrop, AutoDS, whatever you're using. Go in Facebook groups for suppliers in China, find your agent somehow, okay? Just hustle. Send them your product, say what rates they can go for. So a very good one is called WeFulfill, that's the one I use, but you can use any. And through there, you can talk to the suppliers, you can find one, or Commercive, super good as well. Just never give up trying to get a better cost of goods, because if you're paying $60 now, there's a chance that someone will source it for 48, and that gives you $12 more for every single purchase. So fixing your back end, that's how you become profitable. But let's talk about how to 2x your business overnight by taking massive risks, okay? I've done this over and over again. This is how I got to 750K a month. So you make good money every day, okay? And as scary as it sounds, you take the risk, you roll the dice, you completely changed everything. And I get it, if your conversion rate is 2%, you're making 10K a day, you don't want to change your business if you're doing these numbers. But what if I told you that just making one change that seems like a risk can either put you to 0 or double your results, okay? And if you roll that chance 3 times, eventually you're gonna double your results, okay? What I'm trying to say here is a new page, new offer. Even if you have something that's doing good, never be too comfortable. If you're scaling on a 2% conversion rate, 3%, be obsessed. How can I get this to 5, 6, 10? How can I be more comfortable? How can I get this to 4, 5, 6, 10? Or how can I become more profitable? Well, that's by taking massive risks so you can duplicate your product page, right? And you can launch a new campaign and you can test new offers on the side. Your goal should always be to improve. We're looking at a store right now, scaling 13,000 in 2-3 days, but with a 1.5% conversion rate. This store could be doing 26,000 at 3. That means that at 6%, you could be doing 48,000, something like that, 52,000, just by working on the actual page. So never be comfortable with your backend. Take big risks, okay? And it's going to work out better. Now let's talk about how I'm building long-term with subscriptions. Just look at this campaign here, spending 73, let's just call it $75 to get a purchase. And let's say that a customer buys here and gets a subscription that fits the product, okay? And he stays for 5 months, he's buying it for $100 a month. We spend $75 to get the sale, and our cost from the supplier is $30. So that means that we lose $5 on the upfront. But in subscriptions alone for 5 months, he's paying $100 a month, meaning $500. So upfront we lost $5, but we actually profited $495. So if the product then costs $30, or purchase cost is $75, we're paying $150 to fulfill a $100 product. But by next month, you will only pay $30 to fulfill it and you will keep the $70. Does this make sense? That's the power of subscriptions, right? So if they sub for 5 months, that's going to be $70 times 5, okay? That's $350. You spent $70 to acquire the sale. That's $350 in profit just from subbing, okay? So you're losing slightly on the top and you profit after. Now, You should also profit on the front end, okay? Of course you should be profitable and have a good ROAS, but I'm just telling you how, like, even worst case, this is a way to build a very long-term business. The only issue, like I told you, is like it has to be worth it for them to subscribe. So it needs to be a good offer and something you need. And also, if you want to learn from me, I have a program. I'm gonna link in the description. It's rated 5 stars on Whoop. Everyone loves it. It's really amazing results. Someone in there just bought like a 100K Mercedes AMG. People are doing 200K months. People are hitting their first 1K days. It's a really, really good program. Go to the first link in the description and join. You can watch the video. You can learn more. Or obviously, if you want to work with me one-on-one too, just message me on Instagram. But here's the thing, like I try to tell you, you need a really good fucking offer to do this properly. And if you do, it creates insane valuation for your business. Investors would love to buy something with lifetime customer value, where customers are returning every single month, right? That's super lucrative, and that's how you get huge multiples when you exit your business and make millions one day. But with this, there are 2 issues. They need refills, but maybe they don't need it monthly, right? And this is a little bit difficult. And with that, customers can easily, like I said, end up with 5 powders or whatever you're selling. I don't know what you're selling, man. They can end up with 5 bottles. I don't know. And because of that, they're obviously going to unsubscribe. It's just going to make no sense. And you can only do this with refill products, right? So don't just go out there and put subscriptions on anything. That would be completely fraud. It wouldn't make any sense. So be intentional with your research. See what are the type of products where customers actually come back and I can serve them every single month. This way, you can build a legit long-term e-commerce business that looks good to investors. And like I said, I've been able to make a lot of money with e-commerce in my career, but I still don't know exactly how to go with the refilling thing yet. I'm learning, it's making me money, but this is definitely the most difficult thing I'm working on in my business right now. But that's it for the video. I hope you liked it. My goal is just to go super advanced, just teach you everything, man. I want to give you the best chance at success with e-com, and I really think I did it with this video. So subscribe if you want to learn from me. Drop me a message on Instagram. Check the program link in the description. And happy Q4. Let's scale. I'll be looking forward to see you in the next one.